when you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, you champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, and I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. Podcast time. Yeah, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want this. The exclusive details.
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, look, not too bad, not too bad. I think I've just about got that Unentitled EP finished. That's away to them for a final listen and any feedback on that. So that's just about done, which is awesome. The show was pretty cool as well. The show was pretty cool too. Got up with the boys for their cover of Killing in the Name, which was a lot of fun.
Very good. I did see that video.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. Yeah. Other than that, just been, yeah. That's kind of the last thing I needed to get out of the way, before final focus on the trip. So
Nice.
that's pretty good. We got to give a quick shout out to Soaring Clinic for the follow. Thank you, and Kid Crusher. Kid Crusher in the chat. Kid Crusher from our very first episode. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming along. Thank you. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, so before we get into today's stuff, we just got to really quickly touch on, as we made a post about the other day, you guys probably saw the competition for the Gymna Double Pass. That's the Double Pass to the Gymna Rocks Music Festival in Queensland. So we have the Double Pass to give away. That's for you and one other person for 2 days of the Camping Music Festival up at Gymna Base Camp. Quite simple. All you got to do, follow the Twitch channel.
That's it. And be on the stream.
Follow the Twitch channel. And what we're going to do is once we get to 100, we're trying to get to 100 followers at the moment. So once we get to the 100 mark, we will randomly draw from one of our followers to be the winner. So hit that button and you'll get in the running to win that.
It's $240
so awesome.
value. It's 2 days VIP ticket. It's the camping ticket, but your camping gear is not included. So just you got to bring yourself up there.
You got to bring your own.
And bring your own.
Got to bring your own camping stuff up there. Bring a decent tent and sleeping bag because it can get chilly depending on the weather. It's that time of year where it's starting to turn. So
yep. And you get an interview
like
that we will put on YouTube to tell us or stream here live to tell us all about the Gymna experience.
Yep. Well, Kyle's going to be there. So you will get a little interview with Kyle, who will be able to report back on how awesome your experience was. You can tell everyone about it, how great it was. So make sure, as I said, follow the Twitch channel to be in the running for that. And yeah, that's where we're at with that one. Of course, as we always say, if you like what we're doing, follow. You can subscribe if you want to provide us with a little bit of monetary support. That's always very much appreciated. It does help us to move things along here and just sustain the channel a bit better. And also you don't have to worry about seeing any ads or anything when you're on that. And also all the like, share, subscribe on the Facebook, all the YouTube, all that good stuff. We just had another reaction video go up last night. I did a reaction to that new Falling in Reverse song, which is a hell of a song.
It was,
everyone was raving
I really
about
enjoyed
it.
your video, man.
So I jumped on and thought, fuck it, I'll jump on and do one real quick. To that, got that up there. Thank you very much, Daddy Frank, jumping in the chat.
What's up, Daddy Frank?
With the cool cat and
Listless Boo.
What's that? Listless Boo. Thank you so much, Listless Boo. You are in the running for that Gymna tickets. Thank you for the follow. All right, shall we get to it?
Let's do it.
Shall we do it to it?
Let's do it.
All right. So
I'm so excited.
If you've seen the post online, you know what we got in store for you today. We got a big one. Our guest today is pretty much a legend in the Australian metal scene. If you've been in the metal scene for any length of time, you've either encountered one of his bands or heard about one of his bands, maybe even played with one of his bands or seen him live in concert, even if you didn't intend to. Look, if you're in the scene, you know who this guy is.
Shit, yeah, you do.
Absolute legend. He's done everything that you can possibly do in Australian metal and more. Mate, it's Todd fucking Hansen. Yes, as we mentioned, you have been doing your thing for quite a while now. I mean, as far furthest back I could find was going back to Headcase, which is like 2001. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We started jamming in 2000. Sort of had our lineup finalised. First gigs in 2001. It's basically my brother and I were into Mr. Bungle. It was kind of like a Mr. Bungle meets Slipknot type band, really.
Yeah.
Like music-wise. And yeah, that was the first band I did. Like original band. Bunch of mates from my school. Well, not even mates. It was like a mate of mine's younger brother and his mates. So I was kind of friendly with them. But they had a band going, and the drummer was my mate, but he went overseas. And so I was just at my mate's party one night. So lots of my mates. So just at this party one night, it's like, oh, I have a drum kit. I could probably have a jam with you guys if you don't have a drummer. And they're like, yeah, all right. That was it. I couldn't really play drums that well back then, but do enough to get by.
You played well enough to do backing vocals as well with it.
Oh, yeah. I was sort of, picked it up pretty quick. I learnt drums in primary school and a little bit of high school, and got a bit older. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to play in the school band, so I quit and then just bought my own kit and just mess around at home, play a bit of guitar and a bit of drums and that. And yeah, I could just never find a good drummer because I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. So I wanted to play guitar and sing in a grunge band, but I could never find a good drummer. So just ended up playing all the instruments myself, just messing around, and then we started Headcase.
Lovely.
After a few years, it was good.
Jeez.
And I mean, that went on. That went for quite a while, right? Like that went through till. I mean, it was kind of on and off, from what I could gather, right?
Yeah, I actually missed our last gig, and I didn't realize it was going to be our last gig at the time. But I just joined PARROT, and we had a US tour, and we'd booked this gig. We hadn't played for like 2 years, and I'm like, oh, well, I can either play the gig with Headcase, be in King Parrot and tour, which is what I want to do. So I just got a mate and sat down with him and went through the songs, and then he did it. Dan Trickett, I don't know if you guys know him.
The name
he played several bands. Probably Lynch Martyr was his main one.
That's the name I know. Yeah.
But yeah, he's a great drummer, and he jumped in for me. I used to do clown face paint in that band, and he even painted his face for the show. So
nice. We love a bit of face paint.
Oh yeah,
love a bit of face paint. And that was so Headcase had like, what was it, two full length albums?
We had one album, and we had like a demo because
right, okay.
In the early 2000s, that was the thing. You just you do a demo and release that, and like sell that gigs for like $5 or whatever, and then but our album took years and years to make. It was I don't know, it was a little disappointing, but it turned out all right and all, but it was cool to get it out finally.
For a metal band in 2000, for an Australian metal band in 2009, it sounds pretty fucking good, I gotta say.
It's all like self-produced. Our bass player ended up like he was a sound engineer, and so ended up collecting all the gear, but a lot of that took time, and then just getting everyone to do it, But in the end, we got it out.
Yeah, that sounds pretty. Because I was checking that out this week, and it's still on. It's up on all the streaming platforms, from what I can tell. So, if you haven't listened to Headcase, that's with a K, definitely go and check it out. As you said, it's got some of that. It's very new metal, very very new metal era like stuff, which is great. Like that's what I grew up on. So that's what I love.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. It's me and my brother and a few guys we all actually went to the same school, but in different grades. So yeah,
awesome.
It was good. I suppose everyone's a couple of the guys want to do it again. I just simply don't have time. And
it's one of those things, right?
If we were ever to do it again, I would want, because one thing we always did was we always had the same lineup. There was never a different member. We had fill-ins for certain gigs here and there, like a bass player might fill in, or our singer was losing his voice or something, so we had a double vocalist once to help him out. But yeah, and I don't know if we ever had an extra guitarist, but
it's pretty solid though. Like that's a long time to have the same lineup with a band.
Yeah.
You know, because it was what like ended up being, obviously, like I said, there was kind of that, there was a bit of a gap there, but it ended up being like a 13-year stretch or something. 13
years.
14-year stretch. So it's, yeah, it's a long time. But yeah, I think, hey, as you say, yeah, if something was to happen, having that whole original lineup would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like a couple of the guys were like, oh, we'll get this band, we'll go have this person play on the guitar and this one on the... It's like, nah. It's got to be the original lineup if I'm going to be part of it. You guys can do it, but I just don't have time. But I'll do it if original lineup.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I actually kind of hope none of them are watching this now, actually, because they'll be like, all right, we'll do it.
If they are watching and they happen to need a bass player, you know, give me a... Yeah. I'm kidding. Probably the bass player is probably the one that was organising it.
No. I'm still friendly with him. You know, I'm still friendly with most of the guys. Lost touch with one of them.
Well,
but, I don't know, maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Well, we're just going to have to do TODD Fest. It's just going to have to be TODD Fest where we get all the Todd's bands in and you play on all the fucking things.
I've only got 2 bands now, so...
All right. So, moving down the line a little bit, we get to the Berserker, which is a pretty big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal at the time. Probably, I'd say King Parrot's probably surpassed the Berserker in terms of, you know, status in the metal scene by now. But at the time, Berserker was like fucking way up there, right?
King Parrot is more popular in Australia than Berserker ever was, I'd say. But the Berserker was really popular overseas, like especially the UK. They were on Earache Records way back when they started and stuff. But UK and Europe, they did pretty well. Even the US, I did a US tour with them and it was good. But I mean, the tail end of that, so...
Yeah, because they were the Berserker formed in what? They looked like mid-90s. They were around since then, and you kind of came in what, 2006, 2007?
Yeah. So while I was playing in Headcase, I wanted to play other stuff instead of just the same stuff, and I ended up joining this hardcore or metalcore band. It was actually more death metal, but they were just sort of metalcore, called From These Wounds. It was they only played in the hardcore scene, so it was like them all the hardcore bands used to play at Mary Street and all the metal bands, and I joined them, and it was like, because I went to all of it, I liked all of it. So man, we could double our audience if we start playing metal shows at the basement as well. And they were sort of like, oh no, we ended up doing that. But anyway, the bass player of that band was mates with Luke Kenny, who is the Berserker, and he actually started out as a DJ, like that Gabba dance, that really hardcore sort of European dance stuff. He started doing that, and then I think he did some metal remixes because he's a drummer as well. Played in bands and stuff in Melbourne. I think he did some like metal remixes with his Gabba stuff, and it was like, oh, that's really cool. You should start a band. And so yeah, he ended up having a band and doing live thing, and they had the masks and all that. I'm pretty sure they actually came out like, so like 99, 2000, they were sort of, that was their major label release, and everything was like, oh, they came out almost at identical times, but Slipknot was massive and Berserker was sort of a bit more underground, and everyone's like, oh, you're just ripping off Slipknot. It's like, we had, and back then, there really, you know, there was internet, but not accessible as now. Like a little band from Australia in the mid-90s and a little band from America in the mid-90s going, yeah, let's wear masks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in like 98, 99, they both get released. And it's like, oh, you're all, we're doing the mask thing and you're doing the mask thing.
I think the same thing kind of happened with Mushroom Head, right? Like Mushroom Head was technically around before Slipknot, and they were doing the masks before then, but they didn't really kind of blow up until after Slipknot became a thing. And then everyone was just like, oh, they're copying Slipknot, and there's like some beef between Slipknot and Mushroom Head because they're both, you know, big groups of bands with lots of members, and they wear masks. It's like the internet in the early 2000s was fucking wild for rumors like that shit.
You could say whatever you wanted back then, far out.
Speaking of mask bands, just randomly, there used to be a band on the Sunshine Coast called Chin, and they basically, it was almost like the Mr. Bungle type band as well, and they all wore masks.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of shinfo for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I guess that's the thing, right? Like, if there's one popular band, one band does something and gets popular, everyone assumes that anyone else doing it is ripping them off. Like, even if they've been around from before, because most people don't bother to look deeper into that, or they think, only one band can do a thing, right? Like, which is bullshit.
It's all art, isn't it? Like,
yeah, you know? It's bullshit. It's like that'd be like saying, oh, well, you know, there could only be like one thrash band, right? Like, Slayer was Slayer. You'd be like, oh, well, Slayer, whoever was doing thrash first, it's like, okay, well, that's anyone else that's doing thrash is just copying them, right? And they can't be, no one else can do thrash. It's a silly thing. But so if we look at that Berserker there, like obviously Berserker had a ton of albums, but I think you were on, you were on Animosity, Reawakening, and the Live in London album, or was Animosity already recorded before you joined?
Already recorded before I joined.
Okay.
That Live in London wasn't me either. That was recorded before Animosity was released and just tacked on to Animosity.
Oh wow!
One song on the Live in London is from Animosity because they hadn't released the album yet. But that was like the last album on their E05 deal, and I joined for that kind of touring cycle, so to speak. And then when I was in the band, he'd done his first album on his own label called The Reawakening. But again, Berserker was always programmed drums, except for that To Simulate album, where I don't know if you saw any of the Berserker's DVDs or anything, but a guy named Gary Thomas from Perth, he was the drummer that actually played on that album, and it's just insane. A lot of people mistake me as, oh, you. It's like, well, I didn't actually play on any Berserker stuff. I just played live. I've got my picture in the Reawakening, and it says live drummer. But no, I was just live, and Luke was just a mate of mine through that band From These Wounds, and just got a call. I was in another band that was sort of doing things, and then the guys were like, well, it was sort of at that point where it's like, all right, we can go this way and do the band, or we can, we want to do these other things. We don't really want to take the band, super serious. I'm like, all right, well. And then I get a call from Luke going, a tour and stuff. You want to play in the Berserker? And I'm like, I can't play that fast. He goes, let's give it a go. So, like, yeah, all right. And he sent me some albums and stuff, and just got to work, and took a while to speed up. There's a lot of like speed building exercises and stuff, and lots of paradiddles to metronomes and whatnot, but get there in the end.
All the shit that everyone hates doing, right?
Yeah, but it's amazing how it works. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. It makes such a difference, right?
Yeah, it's great. I got this drumming DVD by the Cryptopsy drummer Flo Mornia. It's called like Heavy Metal 101 drumming or something, and it just changed my drumming for it. It was awesome. Yeah. Just and I ended up getting a drum lesson from him many years later at his house.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. He goes, I'll just sit down and have a little play, and I'll just watch you play for a minute and see what I think. And I sat down and I just played, and he goes, well, you got a really, I was like, yeah, that's because I just copied your DVD, mate. Yeah.
So can I ask, From These Wounds, you mentioned there, does that have an EP called Deceiver? Is that the same one?
No, I don't think so. We had an EP, but it was self-titled. It was out on Building Records, and we did a split with A Secret Death. I don't know if you ever heard of A Secret Death. They were pretty popular back then as well. Yeah, I don't know if any From These Wounds is on any of the streaming services. It was
because I'm just having a look. It says, I mean, it says 2012, so that might be kind of after stuff from then. But it's got songs 12-6, Deceiver, Final Stand, Cowboy Killers, Brutal, Fall of Tomorrow. I'm gonna guess it's not them then.
No, but it's on. It is on Spotify. There's a 5-track self-titled EP from 2004. From These Wounds. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper then, see what I can turn up. Because I'm a pleb, I've got YouTube Music, not Spotify.
I've never used YouTube Music. I'm like it's dumb, but I'm a little bit against Spotify in a lot of ways. But girlfriend has it, and she's like, I can get you on a partner one for free, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, if I get it for free, then fuck you, Spotify. I'm getting. You're ripping off the bands, and I'm ripping off you.
Yeah, it's we've talked many times about our views on music streaming services on here. CJ, thank you so much for jumping in the chat. How you doing, my man?
What's up, my dude? We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah. See you on Sunday, man. That's right. We didn't mention earlier. We're going to be doing CJ's podcast on Sunday, so that's going to be lots of fun. You want to? What's that one called? Is that the Smoke Out?
Yeah, the Smoke Out Australia.
Local band Smoke Out.
Smoke Out. We'll
be doing that Sunday.
So make sure you check out that one at 5:20.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, CJ the Pineapple Drummer.
So we'll also talk about as well, before we get to King Parrot, we got one more we're going to talk about, which is Cavemen, which is, for those who don't know, Kid Crusher from Adelaide, horrorcore artist. Cavemen is one of his metal style projects. That's basically, you know, what if cavemen had been frozen and thawed out and played heavy metal. Fun concept. I think the original idea was that he just was like the SpongeBob theme song, which was like 2006 or something, and then there was the album in 2010, which you were involved with.
Gondwana Land.
Yep, Gondwana Land, and then the Evolution album, which released a couple of years ago, and obviously you're doing that, and you did live drums for a while for Cavemen, right?
Played on Gondwana Land, and like I actually wrote that album. The guys, we all just got in a room and wrote an album, and there's some ideas kicking around, but basically I met Kid Crusher. A massive Berserker fan, and so I met him through that. But I met him at like a Wish for Wings gig. I was filling in for a band called Wish for Wings, and we played in Adelaide, and he came, and I got talking to him and stayed in touch, and we ended up doing a project.
Yeah, rad dude, keeps himself busy.
Oh yeah,
keeps himself very busy.
Always
working on something.
Very driven and very motivated. It's pretty cool.
It's good quality.
Very awesome to see. And then obviously, we get to 2014, which is where you joined forces with King Parrot. Yeah.
Well, that was a weird thing, the whole King Parrot thing.
So tell us, how did that come about exactly?
So I knew Youngie just from the scene, I guess, and the original guitarist from King Parrot from the Berserker, so I knew Eddie, and he was there. He was on the first EP, and sort of came up to Brizzy a few times with them, and I would catch up or give him a place to crash or whatever. And Squizzy joined, and then drummers, and then I was playing in Rome, a band called Rome at the time, which was basically all the developers and me.
I can't believe I forgot Rome. I remember that.
King Parrot would come up to Queensland. Rome would usually play with them. Anyway, we'd had some band meeting where Rome was like, well, some of the guys didn't really want to play live anymore. Some of us wanted to, and one of them on the fence kind of thing. So yeah, it's like, oh, we'll do like the really good shows, but sort of can't really be bothered. Yeah, we played with King Parrot, and Skits was leaving. They'd just done their first massive US tour, and he was like, I can't tour like that. And my name came up for him, and then we were playing the gig together, and they, sort of asked a question. I had a bit of a chat with them the next day, and that was pretty much.
It's pretty cool, though. I mean, for obviously back then they were still like they were making a lot of waves, getting really popular off that first EP and all the shows. Like I can remember back then just hearing about it, that just the name was getting around from how intense the shows were, how crazy like the band would get and the crowd, everything together. So I obviously have to imagine getting approached by a band that's making that kind of buzz would have been pretty exciting for you.
Well, yeah, because after that whole Rome thing had happened, like that was sort of a couple of months before this King Parrot show, I guess. And after that sort of happened, we had mad supports. We did like the Carcass support and Aborted, as well as King Parrot and a couple of King Parrot shows. And like, well, because before I joined Rome, I moved overseas, and I was trying to join a band over there, just because I couldn't do it. I just wanted to tour and play music.
Yeah.
And so yeah, moved overseas. I had a mate over there that I'd run into at a Berserker concert. He was a Canadian guy, lived in Australia for a couple of years, and then obviously lived back. I caught up with him in Toronto, and he's like, dude, I just bought a house, move over here and make music with me. And it's like, yeah, that could be cool. So it took about a year and a half, and I moved over there and lived there. We jammed together and stuff, but again, like it wasn't like I wanted all or nothing kind of thing, and he sort of he was one of the few dudes that I could just get in a room and we could just start playing, and we could just play for 20 minutes straight. All the changes were the same. Like we were really in sync with our playing. It's the only other guy that I sort of really do that with a lot is Dan from Fuck. And that's just because obviously Fuck's another one of my bands. We've been going since 2009
That's
or
right.
10.
Man, it's fucking. I was trying to list them all for the thing, and I completely forgot about Rome, and I should have remembered Rome because Tensions, one of the only Queensland shows Tensions Arise played was with Rome at Crowbar, Brisbane. And I remember.
Coast too, I think.
Yeah, and I remember Fuck because of the Skull and Bones tour. Well, two shows that happened with the Celebrity Morgue guys and all that.
You guys were up at the Katoomba show.
Yeah, we did Katoomba and the Factory. And fuck yeah. So it's so many fucking bands, man. Like you just we had CJ on a few months ago, and he was like, done all of this shit in so many bands, like in fucking. Goes over to Europe and does whole fucking Europe tours and shit over there, and then he comes back and does his shit here, and it's like some of these. It's just it must be something about. Of course, it's drummers. Of course, it's drummers, man, because there's fucking never enough drummers, right?
Good drummers.
There's never enough drummers.
No shit.
We start exporting them,
Well, yeah. At one point, I was doing 12 bands at once, active bands. Yeah, but it juggled out. So within the same year, from January 1st to December 31st, I've played in 12 different bands that were all active. But it was like 3 of those bands pretty much had all the same members. So we'd just jam on the same night. And the odd member that's in this band but not these two. But the nucleus of it was 4 of us were in all the same bands.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we could always jam pretty easy. I'd jam every night. But then a lot of the bands would work. It's this band and this band are doing stuff, but these bands aren't really doing anything, so we don't need to jam for a couple of months. Yeah. But
that's pretty crazy though. 12, that's nuts. I couldn't do it, and that's why I never made it. Right?
There's another guy in Brisbane named Andy Chopper, and he played in a band called Sausage Chopper, but he was in 12 bands at once at one point. But he played everything, whereas I've just done 12 bands on the drums. So he did vocals, drums, guitar, bass, like whatever he needed in those bands. But he was the record holder. And I was like, I want to match Andy Chopper. So it was like I was at like 11 bands, and I'm like, fuck, I just need one more band.
Hold on, I'll play with you.
Then we made a Christmas.
Come here.
We made a Christmas band. The dudes I was already in like 3 bands with, we just made another band. It's like, yeah, there we go, 12 bands.
So it's just like all you've ever wanted to do, Todd, is just play live and play drums.
Oh yeah, back then I did. Yeah. I still do, but you know, you get a bit older and other things come along, and it's, you know, it's nice to sort of not be doing it all the time. But I couldn't live like that anymore. Like that was literally, I would go to Via Studios at Bowen Hills, and good mates with the owner there, so I'd just book a room all week and set my drums up, and it was day right through to Thursday, and I'd have Friday night off. That was my night off.
Unless you had a gig, right?
Yeah. Usually I'd have a gig on Friday or Saturday, so but that was my jam night off. So
yeah, it's pretty. I mean, look, that's pretty brutal. That's but I mean, it shows, right? Like, I mean, your name in the projects you've been involved with have left an indelible mark on the Australian metal scene. So the hard work obviously has left a legacy there for sure. And with more still to come. I mean, King Parrot's still going, still doing amazing, still doing, you know, really impressive stuff. And who knows what's next, right?
Look, I mean, we've got some new music with Fuck as well. We're working on. We're actually working on a new King Parrot album now too. We just did a string of shows in the last couple of weeks, and we're just going to take a bit of time and really nut it out. It's been weird, like with COVID and all that. We had a fairly good roll on with writing before that, and then see a couple of years off, and then, you know, there's a little gap in 2021 where we caught up and it was it was cool, and then everything locked down again, and last year we kind of was like, well, we've cancelled so many shows in the last 2 years, so we just did a bunch of Aussie shows, and in amongst trying to do gigs was a bit, I found personally, a bit hard. Like, never usually have, but it was just like, I'm really focused on doing these gigs, and like, you know, we're sort of adding songs and taking songs out, and I was like, I always want to play the songs good. And it'd be like, we'd run through the set a couple of times, like, oh, we've got an hour left, let's write something. Like, oh shit, I can't at the moment. I snap my brain from, like, you know, focus to create. It was weird.
Yeah, it's definitely, I definitely feel that, because like I find it quite, I can find it quite challenging as well to be, if you've got a gig and you're focusing on that material to prepare for the show, and then having to go into writing mode, or vice versa. Like, yeah, that's a switch that's not always easy to make for some people.
I've never usually, like, sometimes I'll have an off day where I'm like, look, I'm not feeling it, but usually, you know, I can have a jam and then go, all right, let's work on some new stuff. But I guess just last year as well was pretty much like, I'd go to work. I work Sunday to Wednesday, so I'd go to work Thursday at the airport, flying down to Melbourne, have a jam with the dudes, play a couple of gigs, or we'd just fly and meet somewhere, and then we're playing around, fly back home Sunday morning, go to work Sunday night, sort of do that. And that was like, we had a little gap in the middle, but most of last year that was what I was doing. So yeah, it gets a bit hectic, even though it's sort of like, it's still, you're working 7 days a week, even though you're going off playing gigs and having fun. It's still work. It's still work to a degree. Work. Like, you got to be. I'm carrying shit. Yeah, you got to have a degree of professionalism about it, right? Like, that's something I've always maintained, and you know, it's
I don't know about you. I've found it's sometimes gotten me into some disagreements with people because I kind of switch into like, even though it's a gig, I'll switch into like work brain and just be focused thinking about it like a job, you know?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I guess after, what, 20-something years of doing it now, I'm sort of, it's just pretty much second nature, but
yeah.
Still, like, it's still work, and like, if nothing else, it's probably like actual work to do the gig. All right, so you carry a few things, you might sound check, then you sort of sit around, then you play, then you pack up. But it's like the late nights and then the early starts as well, you know.
Yeah.
And then playing at the speed that you play at, especially with King Parrot. I mean, how long does an average King Parrot set go for these days now?
Most of the time an hour.
Well,
a little longer, but
and that's intense drumming to do for an hour.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know, you just sort of get used to it.
It's
nothing compared to what I had to do in. Yeah. Well, it's nothing compared to what I had to do in Berserker headline sets. That was brutal. We played for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
That was just blast beats. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's touch on some of the accolades that King Parrot's received. So there's been like multiple nominations for stuff, right? So there was best hard rock or heavy metal album in 2015 and 2018. I think, is that right? That was the ARIA nominations there. There was best new band in 2015. Best live band in 2014, 2016, best heavy album in 2015. So I mean, that's fucking,
yeah.
Look, that's amazing to get multiple nominations like that. Because look, we know that the Australian music industry largely ignores that heavy metal even exists for the most part, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I sort of think, it's pretty cool that we got an ARIA nomination, but our category is hard rock heavy metal. It's not even like heavy metal on its own. It's hard rock heavy metal. There's also a rock category, but in the category they'll have everything from like hard punk and every kind of heavy metal subgenre or whatever, and they pick 5 out of that. And there's so many bands putting out good stuff. And but anyway, like, it was cool to been to the. We went twice. We went to both the ceremonies.
How was that?
The nomination, you can. Yeah, it was cool. I reckon the first time we went, it was on Channel 10. Who was hosting it? Off camera, like he was sort of ushering people in and sort of cracking jokes as everyone was coming in. And he knew who King Parrot was and sort of mentioned us as we were walking in. That was pretty cool. But it was really well done. Like, there's like food and coffee and booze, I guess, if you want to smash some booze, and it's pretty nice. It's cool, like a award ceremony. But the end did it. It was like everyone was really respectful, and it was sort of like talk in the breaks, and they go, "All right, guys, we're coming back in 30," and everyone would shut up and be in their seats and that. And then when we went in 2018, also in 2015, I had a few drinks there and had a jolly old time. In 2018, I don't really drink much anymore. Like, I might have had a beer or two, but I don't really get drunk. So I really took a lot more of it in, and it was just chaos. Like Dickie Wilkins hosting it. People wouldn't shut up. I felt really sorry because they obviously don't televise the metal one. But Parkway Drive won it that year, and Ben Gordon was up there doing his speech, and everyone's just talking. It's like, we're not talking we're not talking through, like, all the metal and hard rock people that were there weren't loudly talking through the pop groups and the whatever, like the other stuff. It was just kind of, I don't know, it was a bit. But also, it was a weird day because there was like torrential rain in Sydney, and so they had to move it, and the red carpet was put under cover, and that. I think 2015 was better than. I think Channel 10 did a better job than Channel 9. whether they run it or not, but
well,
that's what I put it down to.
Channel 9's under Murdoch, right? Is that the one?
I thought it was
probably.
Yeah. He owns everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I'm not surprised that that a team, an organization run by Murdoch, wouldn't give a shit about alternative music. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, the Channel 10 one didn't I think North Lane won that year, the 2015 one, and they were overseas, and they did their they were on tour overseas. They did their little thing via video, so everyone kind of had to listen. But people just seem more respectful in that year. I guess there's more crowd control, perhaps, like people, making sure people are sitting there, making it look good for telly.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. And look, something else that I think has really endeared King Parrot a lot to, and sort of helped boost the profile of King Parrot as well, is obviously the association with Phil Anselmo and his interest in the band, which, that's got to be, as a metal band that would have come up through the era when Pantera was like, obviously, like
Pinnacle.
one of the top bands at the time, having Phil Anselmo express an interest in the band and be like, I like what you guys are doing, want to work with you guys, want to do some stuff, like, because I think Dead Set was recorded at his studio, is that right? And obviously you've toured with with Anselmo, with various Anselmo projects.
Whole Lair was also written and recorded in that studio. That was our 2020 EP, which we just had a week off and went and chilled at his place and just wrote and recorded some songs.
That's mad. That's
cool. Okay. I don't want to, obviously there's a lot of stuff around, certain things that Phil has done and said, and a lot of people, are looking from the outside on it. You, as someone that has, met him and hung out with him a bit, I'm not, obviously, I don't know how close you guys actually are, but I mean, what's your impression of Phil Anselmo just as a dude? Like, does he seem like a decent person? Does he seem a bit sort of weird? All the the whole white power thing that happened a few years ago. Like, is that what's your take on all of that?
Tough one. I've known that's not what he's about. I don't really know where that came from. I don't know. Phil's always been nothing but great to me. I've never known against anyone for any reason, really, from my experience. I mean, half of his band are, Mexicans and stuff, and he's never ever, I've never seen the side of him, and I've lived at his house for a long time. I've lived on the bus with him. He's just a guy. He has a lot. He loves music. He knows a lot about music. But people might make mistakes. I don't know why that happened, but ultimately he's apologised. He didn't mean any malice by it. People took it the wrong way. That's all I really can say for that.
No, that's
Other
good.
than that, though.
That's fine. I mean, it was just I thought you've obviously worked with him, you've toured with him, you kind of know him a bit. I just thought because
if we're gonna ask anyone about what he's like,
especially with the Pantera reunion being a factor at the moment as well, there's a lot of, I think there's a couple of festivals that Pantera was supposed to be doing, that a couple of them in Europe that they've now been removed from, and I don't know how much of it that's associated with these things, but that's part of some of the rumors. So I just thought, while we were chatting with you, if that gets to get the opinion of someone who knows the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's been nothing but awesome to me, to King Parrot, to my girlfriend, to anyone in my orbit. He's been great too, and for a guy that's probably since his mid-20s been like,
yeah.
For someone like me, I could just walk down the street, and then maybe one in every. If I go to a metal gig, all right, I'll probably know a few people. Or if I'm playing a gig, people want to come up and have a photo or an autograph or whatever. But ultimately, I can just go through my life and no one really knows who the fuck I am. Whereas that guy, he has to go to the fucking, he has to take a security guard, you know. So like you gotta, there's differences in the way people live. Like if you're that known, you just people look at you and want to, not leave it. Some people might want to attack him, I guess, but.
It's even worse now with everyone with their phones. So they just pull their phones out and they expect you to dance like a monkey.
On for, like, I couldn't imagine having that level of fame where, you know, like we did an Aussie tour with Phil and the Illegals a few years back, and I went and picked, like, him and his wife came in a bit on a later flight, and I went and picked the airport. And it's really weird. You got to park in a certain spot. They're doing some road works or something. So I'd parked and they'd sort of walked the wrong way. I went over to meet him, and between the 200 meters from where I'd had to park the van to where I met them, 3 people had been just waiting at the airport with a stack of Pantera records.
Oh, wow.
Every single one of them. But it's like, the dude's tired. He wants to go lie down. He's 50 years old. But he's never been rude to anyone. Jokes around a lot. Never, just a good dude, in my opinion.
That's fair enough. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's I realize it may have been a little personal or whatever, but I just kind of thought, while we're talking, you know, we'll get that kind of input. And what we're talking about it as well. Have you seen? What's your thoughts on the Pantera reunion? Like, have you seen the footage from some of the shows? Have you, like, are you into it? Would you go and see it if the opportunity came up?
Totally. Yeah. I reckon that they did it right. They did some matches in South America because they go nuts for it down there, and got all good. You know, it was really cool to watch, really cool to see, I thought.
I mean, like, I've always said that you know, if they were going to do it, that it had to be Zakk Wylde on guitar. Like, that was kind of the only choice, right? And so, and I watched some of the footage from the first show there. I thought the tributes that they did were really nice. I hope that's something that they continue.
They will, yeah.
And I gotta say, like, Phil's voice sounds amazing. I know there was a period where it was a real struggle due to various things, but he really sounds like he's recovered it a lot.
Well, look, I mean, obviously back to the incident, Stanley really did turn a lot of things around, and he doesn't drink much anymore. Like, he was on it, you know, he'd get on the sauce.
Yeah.
But really, he's scaled it back. He's gotten healthier. He kayaks at home. He's sort of trying to make sure that he can sustain it and that he doesn't rights his wrongs and whatnot. That's all anyone can really do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. You know, like, it seems like, obviously, you know, all of us on the outside, you know, like, I got no way of knowing what's actually going on in the Anselmo camp, in the Pantera camp, you know, none of that stuff, right? Like, we just don't have that insight. But it's good to hear that, like I said, it was amazing to hear that he's, you know, very much rehabbed his voice a lot, and he seems to be able to do a lot of that stuff that he was struggling with for so many years. And
I don't know if he's up for Cemetery Gates or not. But...
Look, I don't think anyone
sounded pretty good.
See that, like, that song's like, something that I love. Like, as I mentioned, we've started doing some, you know, reactions on the channel as well. Something I love is watching, like, classically trained singers react to heavy metal videos. And, like, there's this one lady, and she's, like, operatic background, and she's really trained on that stuff, and she has done, like, and she reacted to the Cemetery Gates video and song, and yeah, like, it gets to that part in the song, and she's just like, she lost it. She's like, how is that guy doing it? Like, the range that he's had vocally throughout the song, and then to still go that high as well is just, mind blowing. It really is.
I love that part.
Yeah.
All right. So what? So you mentioned, I think earlier, you said King Parrot's working on some new material.
Yeah, new album.
What can you tell us about that?
Look, it's been, like I say, it was like I was saying, it's been a bit sporadic.
Yep.
Even though the songs that we put out on Hold Up in the Lair, we were even going to sort of rework them, and we had a fair bit of stuff kind of on the go, and then COVID, and so we had it all demoed though, which was good. So it's been a case of working some of that out and reworking stuff, and yeah, just sort of want to bust out maybe 10 or 12 songs and sort of knock that out this year, hopefully.
Okay, awesome. So is that something you're thinking might be out by the end of the year, or not really sure just yet?
I want to probably record it this year and maybe put it out next year. But so we really wanted to. The worst part is we really wanted to take our time on this album. That was the whole plan, and then we lost 2 years with COVID.
Yeah, fucked everyone's plans up.
So now it's like, oh, you haven't put an album out since 2017. It's like, shit. Well, we would have had one out in probably 2021 because we were a pretty good roll on it. End of 2019, start of 2020 with writing. But yeah, it's just one of those bands where it's like we're sort of utilizing a bit of technology now. One of our guitarists, Squizzy, he's a sound engineer or qualified, so he's he can sort of demo stuff and that. But most of us are pretty bad at it, as you know, with me asking all the questions to use this particular video call thing.
It's all right, mate. You're a drummer. Like it's
you got the most important
jokes, right?
job.
You know how it goes.
You just focus on your cymbals and your skins.
Well, look, I've got a little 2-channel recorder thing that I can sort of I make demos and send them. But ultimately, we're one of those bands that needs to be in the room together.
Yeah.
And just nut it out. And so it's good that we're sort of using the technology now. I mean, when we wrote Dead Set, we were in America. We had a month between tours and just had a handful of songs, and we just locked ourselves in a friend's barn for a month and wrote that album, and then demoed it all, and then recorded it all with Phil, and it was just like process because we're immersed in it. And we did some similar things. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and are you guys looking at, like, when you record the next album, are you guys looking at doing that with Phil again, or you think you're gonna do it somewhere over here, or you're not really sure yet?
I think we'll do it. I'm not too sure actually, to be honest, but I think we'll probably do it here. Like we have a guy in mind, and he's very familiar with what we do, and mixed and mastered maybe by someone, but.
Lovely.
Ultimately, we need the songs first, so we'll get those done, and then we'll see where we're at and see where everyone's availability is and whatnot. And
wicked.
Yeah, take it from there.
Wicked. So there you go. You heard it here first. New King Parrot album next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Just out of curiosity, though, is that sort of like a normal process that you guys need to go through? That you guys all need to sort of be locked in a room for a sort of longer duration and really do it in that confined space and bounce those ideas off each other?
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to be a long duration. Like with the last album, we didn't have that month sort of thing, but we do like a weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever, and then we'd go. All right, well, we'll take a week off, and then we'll go up to Bribey Island, which is up your way.
Yep.
My man has a holiday house up there, so we'll sort of crash there, and then found a guy, Loud and Proud Studios. He's up there at Ningy, so we were just jamming in there, and then we could demo it all, and so we sort of locked ourselves away a little bit. But yeah, definitely for us, I don't know, you just get that energy in the room, I suppose. You might be sitting there for a while and nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it just all clicks, and it's like, yes.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I get the sense that, King Parrot kind of operates on a bit of that old school mentality, right? Like,
it is, yeah.
You're not like recording like a couple of guitar parts here and then sending it off to someone else who's listening to it and go, okay, well, what if I do this as well? And then sending it off to you, and you're like, put ideas. It's more like you just get in the room and hash it out together, right? Like I think that still is a very, very good way of approaching metal. I understand a lot of bands do it differently now due to the access to technology, and especially over COVID, there was limitations on travel and being able to get together with things, and so people shifted their approaches to it. But there's definitely something to be said, especially for the type of music that King Parrot makes, for getting that energy of being, and that rawness and that energy of just being in the room together with it, you know. That's definitely, I think it's one of the essential parts of the formula to me.
And that's kind of why we have to do it. I think, like, you know, we can send stuff and, you know, swap ideas along the way, but ultimately it's the magic happens in there.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm trying to this time utilize technology a bit more to just head in the game, and like, all right, when we do have a weekend together, whether they come up to because I live in Brisbane and they all live in Melbourne, so whether they all come up to me or I go down to Melbourne, we'll have like just 3 of us, myself and the 2 guitarists, and we'll just, like, you know, just really get stuck into it, and then sort of fill the other guys in a bit later. But ultimately, when we sort of get the stuff down, sounding good, and everyone's in there, and make a few more tweaks, and then hopefully we can, because I tons of click tracks as well, so full proper production. The last couple we haven't. It's just been like played, so.
Yeah.
Which makes it's fine for me, but it makes it some parts harder for the guitarists, because it's like they just, although we play it all live together initially when I'm tracking drums, they'll go over and do extra tracks and then can't quite play it the same, or a click track, it'll just be like, all right, just snap it into that grid. And
definitely keeps it tighter. Definitely.
So much with them now, like speed it up, slow it down, you know, I'll practice to it every time we practice, and then when I go to record, because I did that with the Fuck CD a couple of years, when we recorded that, we did all the click tracks for that, and it was just so easy. Like, I just went in, like, we'd jammed to it, we'd tweaked it, we'd done everything, we'd take the notes, and then we went into the studio. I think I knocked everything out in one go, and it's like,
I think it just makes post a lot easier as well. When you're in the studio working to a click track, like, it makes post easier. It makes all that editing after the fact a lot easier. Just getting everything extra tight and lined up, you know.
I reckon that you use less editing, because ultimately I'm playing it to a click that I know, and it almost feels like I'm not playing anything, and I listen back and go, gee, that was pretty good.
We'll give you something to follow. What does the drummer follow? Poor people.
Funnily enough, though, and this is probably giving myself a bit of a rap, but whatever, I'm old, I don't give a fuck. When we did Dead Set, and we did it with no click, and you played the songs, and the engineer, he goes, "Yeah, this is pretty good. I can actually put a grid." It's like, it wasn't like a bang on, say, you know, it wasn't like a 240. It might have been like 2 or something random. But he goes, "I can actually put a grid over your playing, and it's pretty straight." Which I thought,
that's unreal.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Like, that's, you know, you got that precision there from, you know, years of working your ass off at it, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, playing to clicks. Like, Berserker used a click track live. I played in another band called Devolution, which was pre
Dark Cell.
Pre-Dark Cell.
You were in Devolution.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Okay, I didn't know you were in Devolution.
Yeah, that was to a click, and then also Rome was to a click. So I'd had a fair bit of practice playing live to clicks.
That's it. Like, I say it all the time, man. I say it all the fucking time. Like, Skunkbone, we're up there, and we're just a grunge band. Like, we're probably one of the last bands that needs a click, but we use that to just keep ourselves extra tight on stage, and it makes such a difference. Like, we talk so many bands we play with that don't use it, and that's always one of the compliments, right? So you guys are so tight on stage. It sounds really good. It's like, you guys are so in sync with each other. It's like, yeah, we got a click track. Like, just use a fucking click track, guys. It's like,
like, I wouldn't use it for King Parrot live, purely because, like, the energy on the night, and we're
The
all
ebb and
pretty.
flow, yeah.
We're all. Well, yeah, there's certain bits that maybe it's like, oh yeah, we'll slow this down a bit more or whatever. So, but yeah, that's a real energy band. But I want to use we've never used a click. I want to use one in the studio just to make the songs better, like sound tighter and
yeah.
But I also
studio, it's absolutely studio. It's essential, I think.
I also play around the click pretty well too, so it's still on, but it might not be.
Yeah,
like,
you might be like a little bit playing a little bit in front or a little bit behind, or a little bit of fluctuation around it still.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
punk rock,
that's
thrash
awesome.
metal, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to the quick question quarter?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shall we give that a go?
Let's go.
Oh, when you're ready, let's hit the thing. Let's hit it.
I need a drink of water for this.
Yeah.
Hang
on. All right. Oh yeah, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it, mate.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Are we good?
Yep.
Is the thing played? Lovely. So,
answer as quick as possible.
well, it's the idea is it's just some rapid fire questions. So we want to, So look, as we said, a lot of people know your name, they know your face, they know the projects you've been involved with. But what we're looking for here is it just allows the audience to get to know you a little bit more and just understand a little bit more about what makes you tick as a musician. So we're going to go through a bunch of questions here. They start easy and they get a little harder as you go on, or a little more thought. So the first few ones you're probably going to be able to answer like in a snap off the top of your head. And once we get further down the list, you might have to think about them a little more. So here we go. Let's start it out. What was the first instrument that you played?
And this is that's my childhood piano right there.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
I always say a piano's a great instrument to start on, or to have in your arsenal.
Well, you learn rhythm, you learn melody, you learn to read.
Yep, you learn chord progressions, you learn everything.
Yeah. I'm not great on the piano anymore. I can still play, I can still tinkle a little, but look, I don't know. It's on the wall. I've got like a piano grade 9 piano certificate and blah blah blah. But
yeah, it helps. Yeah. Look, it helps. I think definitely helps to get an understanding of music theory for sure.
Totally, and like I think purely learning piano from a young age. I think I must have been like 4 or 5 when I started piano, and I played till I was 14 or 15.
Wow.
And that is what really helped with drumming, because I started drumming when I was 9, turning 10.
Mm-hmm.
And just doing like snare drum stuff, and then in the school. But I picked it up really easy, and I think it's purely because of piano. It was
awesome.
That rhythm, Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what was the first album that you purchased?
First album. Purchased. That's a really hard one to remember. The first CD I got. No. Probably something like
tape, CD, whatever. The first like album that you were like, want that. You really wanted, and either you bought it for yourself or your parents bought it for you or whatever.
I think it was bought for me, but I got all the Michael Jackson, Dangerous, Bad, and Thriller.
Nice.
I had all them.
I also got Spirit of Place by Goanna on tape, and I still have that. That was bought today. I think that's the first albums I have.
Lovely. All right. The first live concert that you went to?
Live concert I ever went to was, the first concert I went to with my mates and proud stuff, and that was Foo Fighters at Festival Hall in 1997. That was
good.
That was their first tour with Taylor Hawkins, and Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins both came out on the kit. But first ever live concert was 1992, Suncorp Piazza at South Bank, and it was Yotha Yindi. My family won tickets, and it was awesome. Yeah.
No, fucking hell. Wow. That's crazy.
Peak of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the height of it. That's awesome, man. Okay, what's an instrument you've always wanted to learn but haven't had the opportunity to?
learnt the ones I wanted to learn: piano, drums, guitar, bass. I blew on a friend's saxophone when I was drunk once, and she's like, "Oh, you're actually pretty good." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then I tried it when I was sober, and I couldn't even get a note out. So,
right.
Maybe saxophone, but I don't know. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I mean, look, not everyone has to have a desire to learn more instruments. I mean, you're already a multi-instrumentalist. You can already play, a few different things. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
I can also play the recorder.
Yeah, recorder. Absolutely. That's the only one anyone ever needs, right?
Stock standard Australian instrument.
Still waiting for an Aussie metal band to put a recorder solo in something.
With a distortion.
Maybe that could be on the next album. Maybe it'll be on the next King Parrot album.
With distortion on the mic.
We could do that.
A recorder solo in something. Right. So I've really grown to like this question. So if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, so we're talking living or dead, active or not, any lineup of that act that you want at their peak, any big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be?
Did he freeze?
Did you freeze, or are you there?
I think
I'm here.
Yeah.
You're there. Sorry, I didn't hear anything, and it wasn't moving, and we're like, what's going on?
I rapidly answered Slipknot.
Of course, Slipknot. Yeah.
I mean,
what era? What era?
2000. I was at their concert. It was February 10th, at the arena in Brisbane, or the Roxy, whatever, and they oversold it, and it was just the best metal concert experience ever. Yeah.
So that was still a self-titled album, right?
Yeah.
Oversold it.
That's pretty good. That's a
good
shout.
People in there. There would have been so many people in there.
Yeah, they oversold it. They oversold it by like 500 tickets. It was rammed.
Shit.
Yeah, I had to hold myself up on a stair railing to watch the encore.
Jesus. I'm amazed the place was still standing after that, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, it was nuts. Like, Sid was doing backflips off the mezzanine, and
fuck, of course he was.
Some light that was like, if it hit you in the pit, and it was crazy.
Oh, okay.
It's February the 10th. It's like this time of year.
Yeah, fucking hell.
No way.
I fucking can't. Yeah. No, man, like these shows I've been doing with Nuclear Vision with the masks are just fucking killing me, man. Fucking killing me. Like every time I come off stage, it's always like, even though my mask is not too bad, like the one I originally got was horrible. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to perform in that, because it was like a full head latex thing, and there was like, it was just nothing that was closed over across the mouth and everything, and nose, so there was like no airflow and just nothing. And so I switched to like an airsoft mask that's got a bit of space and some thing, but it's still like, yeah, you come off stage, it's so suffocating, it's disgusting. Yeah, especially with the heat and humidity, like.
Yeah, totally. It's a sacrifice you got to make.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all about the art.
So who's a band or an artist that you're listening to at the moment that you think is underrated and deserves more attention?
Well, there's probably a few. Look, I've the best new band that I've heard in a long time that I really got into is 12 Gauge Rampage from the Blue Mountains down there.
I have heard that name. They were supposed to play. They were supposed to play Kaiju Fest up here, I think, and then something happened. They had to pull out or something. But I have heard that name before. They seem to be gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah, well, the Rage that came out in 2021. That was like my album of the year.
Yeah, and they're definitely very Aussie, like VB Killing Spree, like fucking.
Yeah.
How haven't I heard of these people?
Yeah. Well,
they're only up the road from me too.
Cunts and COVID.
Yeah.
That was their first video. Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Yeah. That's going in the rotation.
Vocals. Yeah, it's killer. Should get those guys on.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to reach out to them. 100%. All right. What is something that people may be surprised to learn about you?
Me, I don't know.
I mean, we kind of already had one. You know, you 10 years on piano, but
you played in 12 bands in 1 year. That was pretty fucking surprising.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've become like a bit of a homebody, and I don't mind getting out and making the lawn look nice and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I love the look of a freshly mowed lawn, freshly mowed, done the edges and everything. It's like, woo. Since I bought a place, I've become a lawn daddy too. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. So
you do that whole thing where you
my girlfriend does a lot of work on there too, but
you do that whole thing where you stand out there afterwards with a beer, hand on your hip, and just admire, just watch it start to regrow. Check out your fresh cut.
Yep. And if anyone parks in front of the house with the wheels up on the curb and they're a little bit on your lawn, you're like,
we've got council grass on the curb. I didn't put the good grass on the curb. We just put it in our yard.
Lovely.
So
Smart,
good,
man.
Good call.
If they want to park on there, they can. But yeah, I definitely. That's one of the only times I actually have a beer is after I've mowed the lawn. Stand there and have a beer and look at it.
You have to.
You know, breathe it in.
That's it.
Awesome. So, look, you've been involved with a lot of bands, a lot of songs over the years. What do you reckon the cringiest band name or song name is that you've been involved with?
Cringiest band name and
something that you just like, oh fuck, I can't believe we did that. It's a bit like edgelord, a bit trying too hard, like.
Well, to cringe for me, I haven't even heard of this dude for many years, but did this gig once, and this is like in 2003 as a headcase gig, and I knew a guy, and he was a covers guy, but he had some original songs, and he wanted to play at this gig that a friend of mine from TAFE had put on. Long story, but I can't remember the name of the band, but it was all like songs and love songs, and there was one called "Love Makes the World Go Round," and that's pretty cringe. So I'll probably say that.
Cliched.
That's probably the most cringe band I've ever been involved with. We only did the one gig, and it was literally like I think we had 1 or 2 jams. He already had all the songs recorded, and we just learnt them and just played this gig for this guy. And it's like, man, I was just sitting there. It was like at a bowls club or something. I'm just looking out the window, like, what am I doing? I love songs.
Right. Well, at least you didn't do a cover of "Can You Buy Me a Feeling."
I don't even know what song that is.
Oh fuck! All right, and what's your most controversial musical opinion?
Most controversial musical opinion. Like metal wise or
anything?
Oh, just anything, man.
Metallica.
What was that?
What was that? Metallica what?
Slayer is better than Metallica.
Okay.
All right.
Music sucks now, but it was really good in the late 80s, early 90s. But it sucks now, except for Stitches. Stitches is really good.
Awesome. All right. So that fulfills the quick question quarter. Thank you for allowing us to get to know you a little better. Time to move on to my personal favorite segment, the Fuck Off Files. Kyle, when you are ready,
let's
please hit the thing.
Fuck Off Files. Yeah.
All right. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. The Fuck Off Files. So, for those who may not have seen the podcast before, this is the Fuck Off Files. Now, something we like to do is we like to just talk to our guests and say, hey, you've been in the music industry a while. You know, you've been around, you've seen some stuff. Obviously, some stuff you like, some stuff you don't like. if you were like, you know, were all powerful and you could just snap your fingers like Thanos and just fuck off any three things, big or small, out of the music industry, what would they be and why? So, at your leisure, what's the first thing that you would fuck off out of the music industry if you could?
Look, this is a tough one because I use it, but probably streaming.
Music streaming?
It's a love-hate relationship.
Use it because that's the thing now, isn't it? That's how you listen to music. Like half the bands that I've been listening to lately, I probably wouldn't be able to go into a music store and buy their album. I'd have to like order it from America and then get it in 3 months or not. And it's like you can't just sort of go to the music store anymore and have that. That was part of the experience for me. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think it's part of the. It's definitely part of it, and as we've said many times, you know, a love-hate relationship with those services. Double-edged sword. They allow you to discover music a lot more easily, but at the same time, they don't pay people enough. It helps to overcrowd the marketplace. Devalues music in the mind of the consumer. It just hurts as much as it helps, I think. So
yeah, it's basically turned every single band into a t-shirt shop. That's what bands are now.
Yeah, and then you've got to, do like release stuff at certain rates to get the right buttons pressed in the algorithm to get it pushed into people's stuff, and it just, I don't want to play I shouldn't have to play those fucking games to get my music out there, you know?
No.
It's literally you're a brand now. When you bring out the music and you bring out the name and the logo, you literally need to market a brand first, and the music needs to be on top of that.
Well, it's like if you bought the album and you liked it, you'd go get the T-shirt. But now it's like, oh yeah, you know, stream. And then the only way, because I know that record companies got a lot of the money from CD sales or tape sales or whatever, but still the band's got some of that, you know.
Yeah,
the cut was a lot better.
You know the fucked part? You want to know the fucked part?
Yeah.
Music, like record labels and management companies are some of the biggest investors and have big ownership stakes in the streaming services.
Oh, of course.
So the money just goes back to them anyway.
Exactly.
Like, it's a company town. It's a company town now, right? Like you as the artist are living in the company town. You're working at the mine, and you're getting paid by the company. But then the company owns. You know, they own the house that you're renting, so that money goes back to them. They own the general store that you're buying everything at, so that money goes back to them. They own, you know, the fucking entertainment, the bar in town. So when you go there on your one night off a week, you're drinking there, that money goes back to them. Like, it's just becoming designed to trap artists in that loop, unfortunately. All right.
But ultimately, if you love it, you do it because you love it.
Yeah,
you have to.
But they take advantage of that fact. They take advantage of the fact that,
especially when.
So I was just saying they take advantage of the fact.
All right,
that
what's your number two? What's the next one?
Yeah, that's it.
What's your next one? Oh, sorry, you there?
Hello? You froze.
Yo.
Yeah.
You there? We didn't. What's your number two?
I still did it.
It was fucking out.
What could I fuck off at number two? Man, it's tough. I kind of. The industry is what it is. Like. No,
yeah, and look, we're not, you know, like this can be big or small, just whatever.
You can say
if
punters,
you prefer
you can
things
say sound
to be a different way, you know, like fucking.
All right, stairs.
Stairs and venues,
yes. All venues that are upstairs or downstairs should have an elevator for loading in and out.
No, just no stairs. Just not even an elevator. I don't want to double handle it. In there.
Fair enough. Look, I think, we've all been there, except vocalists. We know vocalists don't carry anything ever.
I used to have to carry my little bag with my microphone in it.
Oh, you fucking oh, how fucking sorry are we for Kyle having to carry his fucking backpack with his fucking microphone in it? What a shame. It's not like you go, okay, well, I'm the singer, so I don't carry anything else, so I'm going to carry the merch. No, you just you leave someone else with that, and you just go in with your fucking microphone in your backpack.
To be fair, Exist Within never let me go anywhere empty-handed.
No, that's fair. That's
been
fair.
very, very blessed to be in several bands where the vocalist does help carry things. Helps with drums. Obviously, Youngie in King Parrot is all over the merch game. He kind of has a sick fetish with it in a way. Like
that guy works so fucking hard. Oh my god.
He likes to set it up, and he's got a way to do it, and it's like always looks really nice. And he's always quite willing to stand there and sell it. And
that's awesome.
So that's a thinger, you know. Stand there all night working, and talking to people, and then get up and play. Like, but I've been lucky. I've had quite a few bands where the singer always helps. I've been in bands where the singer doesn't do anything, but most of the time the singer will help, especially with drums, because they know that it's difficult.
It is. It's
lots of stuff. Yeah,
for sure. All right, and what's your third one, mate?
Thing I would fuck off from the music industry. All right, I'll tell you one. It's not really a thing in Australia, but it's a thing overseas. Is venues taking a cut of merch.
I knew you were gonna say that. As soon as you said overseas, I knew that's what you were gonna fucking say. Yeah. I knew that's what you was. It pisses me off so fucking bad.
We do not.
It really does. Here. Like, what does the band get a cut of the venue's fucking bar sales? If not, then keep your hands off the fucking merch. Like,
just in Italy, like you don't even there's bootleggers. It's like, oh yeah, you don't even bring your merch in. At the end of the night, the bootleggers rock up and they have the jeopardy on it. So if you sell merch in a venue in Italy, they take like 95% of it, or just it's hilarious.
No, I tell you, like if I ever show up to a venue, any band I'm playing in, if we show up to a venue and the venue's like, okay, yeah, we take a cut of your merch, we're not selling merch that night. Sorry, I don't give a shit if we lose money because of it. Like, I'm not giving that venue anything more. Like, we're bringing people in. The venue makes their money by that, you know, they're cut from ticket sales and selling drinks there. If model guys, like,
yeah, it's
seriously.
Really big thing in America, and it was. I'll tell you a funny story that I'll probably never get done for now. Not that it was me doing it, but when we did the tour, the US tour with the Berserker, the Berserker is no more, so there's no way anyone's ever going to know. But basically, same deal. Most venues was like a 10% merch cut, and at the end of the night to like settle up, and it's like, you know, you settle the your payment, and then our singer would be like, oh, there's still merch is still, so we still haven't counted it out yet, but before we get the figures and how much we owed him, we'd pack the merch up into the thing and we'd just fuck off and not pay him.
Smart. I mean, look,
but he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm never coming. He was like midway through that tour, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, yep, I don't give a fuck. They'll never catch me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty funny.
So, yeah, nah, venues taking merch cuts. Like, we get so ragey about it.
Yeah.
Down over here, like yeah. If venues start doing it here, I'm just like, nah. We're either not gonna play there again, or we're just not gonna sell merch anytime we play there. Like, simple as that. I'm not having a venue take a cut from our merch sales that they had absolutely nothing to do with. They didn't fund the merch. They didn't have anything to do with that, so they don't deserve a cut of it. Simple as that.
No, and I mean, a lot of venues now, like especially local bands, you might get 4 drink tickets for your pay.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got to pay them some of your merch. Like,
yeah, that's fucking no.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So
fuck that.
Yeah, that kind of concludes the more structured part of the podcast. Now we just kind of, you know, talk about whatever. If we got anything we want to rant about, anything we want to, you know, that's been bugging us there. But yeah, obviously we talked a lot of music stuff. We've talked a lot of that. Just how's life going for you, mate, in general, outside of all the music stuff?
Yeah, good. You know, work, got a pretty cool, I don't know, I work in a warehouse and I do a bit of everything. It's busy and work 4 days, have 3 days off. So when I'm not gigging, like it really helps the gigging because I can piss off and do gigs for a weekend. But when I'm not, I've got a few days off and just pot around the house. And but yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. My life's boring, but it's pretty standard, you know.
Mate, in no way would your life be boring. I mean, you're the drummer for King Parrot, for Christ's sake.
Well, there's that, but I guess outside of music, yeah, I mean, just sort of regular dude. Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Got a holiday coming up, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, where are you off to?
Going to Fiji for a bit.
So that'll be nice. So I just come back from there.
Very nice.
Not too long ago. Yeah. Stayed at Navidi, in the Navidi Resort in Suva.
Okay.
It was very nice.
Right, where? I can't remember the name of the resort, but it's like it's on its own island, so it's.
Oh, that'll be nice, man.
You're laughing.
You come back with such a tan.
Yeah. Relaxation Central. There's no. I think there's some Wi-Fi in like a common area, but there's not really much internet, and there's no TV, and it's going to be awesome. We're just going to
unplug.
Lagoon bungalow, and there's heaps of activities to do. You can hike around the island. You can paddleboard. Sit around and do nothing.
Mate, that's what you're going to do.
Wicked. That sounds like it's going to be a blast for you.
Rest them knees.
Yeah, pretty keen. We haven't had a holiday. We haven't had an overseas holiday anyway since before COVID. So yeah, should be nice.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And is there? So obviously, I mean, you know, we talked about King Parrot there as well. You got those new music from that, and you're working on potentially some new stuff from Fuck. That was actually something I meant to ask about too, right? Like, Fuck is very like environmentalist focus, right? Or was that more just the beginning of the band?
Oh, it still kind of is, but we kind of relate. It's we just have a laugh with Fuck. We just make stuff up. But there is still like an environmental undertone, but that also relates to like.
It's like
toilets.
Tenacious D, basically.
But the thrash version.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, well, you know, I mean, Fuck. The first fucking. The song that was like the meme of the fucking moment on the Skull and Bones tour was Dick, which I still think is fucking hilarious. Like,
pretty popular, called the Elephant Song. And it's just, words are literally, this is a song about an elephant, about a fucking elephant. That's the words. That. And we get the whole crowd to make a trunk like with their arm and so that's kind of
that's great. It's, yes, okay, like there needs to be like next time Psycho Stick tours Australia, we need to have like Fuck be the support act. I think that has to be.
We supported Ailstorm actually in November last year when they were out.
Nice.
Funny. Having two-man Keene-clad thrashers supporting Valhalla, who like a Viking metal band, and Ailstorm, who was a pirate metal band. Like,
what did the crowd make of that?
It's sort of similar to most gigs. Like, some people know us, and because we've been around for a long time, so a lot of Brizzy people know us, but the people who don't are sort of like, what the fuck is this? And by the end of it, they're loving it. It's like they realise it's a bit of a laugh, and we're just having a bit of fun and giving people shit and giving ourselves shit and mankinis. So.
Valhalla, crazy.
How's that go, the mankini? Does it like really ride up on you? Is it uncomfortable to wear while you're drumming, or is it very freeing not having a lot of stuff around you?
For the fact that I don't have clothes at the end, I've just got a sweaty mankini, so I can sort of towel off and put my clothes back on. I've got dry undies, pants, and shirt.
That's a winning situation.
Yeah, most of them are all right. Some of them are made a bit weird, so like you might put them on and like one ball will pop out.
That was going to be my next question.
You push that back. Yeah, you back in and the other one pops out, or
they're not suitable to contain a substantial package.
Yeah,
basically.
He's actually sitting on them or something.
Yeah, most of them are, but some of them, yeah, you get. I had this one recently. We got these white ones because we wanted to do like a boy band photo shoot, and I'll get white mankinis.
Oh no!
But for me anyway, Dan's about the same height as me, but I'm a little bit taller. But this particular white one, it went really far up my arse crack, and we took it off, and I'd wiped. It was clean, but there was
skid marks. That was exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was worried about. The skid marks. Oh no!
Yeah. And I've never had that on a mankini. Like they never go up that far. It was up there.
So you're a brave man wearing a mankini on stage like that. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
But for all props to you, it's funny.
That's exactly it. Prop.
So if I ever need advice on what the
awesome.
most comfortable brand of mankini is, come to you, Todd.
Well, look, we basically just get them all off Wish. See, actually, Jesse Drachman gave me my first one because he had the actual Borat one from the DVD. He's like, I got this. Was this something that you'd wear? And I'm like, oh, maybe. And then years later, we started and then Dan, we got to do this photo shoot. We'll both get like Speedos, and we'll go down to the beach and we'll just get this like hilarious photo. Like, I'm not buying a pair of Speedos to fucking wear on the beach, but I do have a mankini. And so there's a photo shoot of Dan in his Speedos and me in a mankini, and then eventually we both just started wearing mankinis.
Love the dedication. Love the dedication.
Yeah. Absolute. Yeah. Dedication to the craft, man. That's what's important.
That's it. Well, once you start it, you kind of it's like a band that wears masks. Once you start it, you got to keep.
You kind of have to keep it. Yeah, it kind of becomes part of the thing, right?
It's the gimmick. Any kind of dress up. Ours is just dressing down.
All right. So, have you got any gigs coming up with anything? Like, what's in the pipeline in terms of gigs that are coming up for you?
I don't have anything.
No, nothing. Wow.
Bit of downtime. Ready for Fiji.
We just did those Borderline Destruction Fest shows the last couple of weekends.
How was that?
That was awesome, yeah. Played with Unearth. Like, we did some shows with them in, like, Canada and North America in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And we got on pretty well with those guys. And Youngie always stayed in touch with the singer and Trevor. And so, yeah, they actually sort of hit us up to do... They asked us to do the whole tour, but we just did the festival shows.
Mm-hmm.
But that was cool, and yeah, like the Ascended was on the whole run, and those guys actually brought Unearth out here and just did the tour, had a crack, that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's favourite band, and he's like, I'll bring him out. So he's brought his favourite band out and toured them around Australia with his band. That's pretty cool.
That's very fucking cool.
Complexant was also on the whole tour. They're sick. I'm pretty sure they're from Wollongong, actually.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. I definitely feel like we're going through a bit of a resurgence in Aussie metal, like over the last couple of years. Like, there's a lot of bands that have been really grinding and doing the work, and they're starting to get some of those props. They're starting to gain some of that wide attraction. So it's really, really good to see stuff like that happening. And hopefully that continues. I mean, I'd love to see it really taking off and metal becoming more of a widely recognized force in Australia again, because I've said it a million times. The talent here, the talent that exists in the bands over here is off the charts, and a lot of it is, I feel like if you take the same band, if it was to exist in the US market, there'd be freaking gangbusters. Yeah,
This is also where a good thing about streaming is, like, people are discovering Australian bands and listening to them from all around the world now, because you might put your evil Spotify listen to an album, and then it gives you recommendations. And just keeps, I've discovered plenty of bands now just from not pressing stop.
Yep, exactly.
I might skip. I might hear something, go, not my thing, and skip it. But then the next thing's awesome.
Well, when I'm working from home, like whenever I'm working from home, I'll put on, like Spotify. I'll put on shuffle on YouTube Music, or I think every Wednesday they've got a new release playlist that they update with a whole bunch of recently released stuff on it, or they'll do their discovery playlist on a Friday, which is, it goes, hey, this is a bunch of, based on what you like and have listened to, this is a bunch of stuff that we think you might enjoy. So those algorithms are pretty good in terms of discovering, if you're seeking those discovery algorithms out. And it's good for finding new stuff you may not have listened to before. It's not necessarily the best for an individual artist to get their stuff out, because obviously you've got to tick a lot of boxes to get on those lists. But for a consumer point of view, it's definitely
it's a consumer's market. It's a consumer's market for music at the moment. I mean, like free Spotify, free YouTube. You can just go on YouTube now and just type in any band you want, video clip. I mean, like before, all we had was MTV, and we were fed. Like we were literally fed our music the whole time. And now, like as a consumer, not playing in a band anymore. It's just pick of the litter. It's like yeah.
For sure. All right. Well,
I think my earbuds are starting to die.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't know how to disconnect and use the microphone.
Oh dear. Well, look, we'll wrap it up there. We'll wrap it up there then. If you're having some stuff, let's take it home. So, all right. Again, thank you so much, mate, for jumping on and doing the podcast with us.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to meet you too. And
it was really good to catch up. We still got to do catch up in person since I moved up
I know.
here.
Well, it's been like restrictions and then busy and
yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you're about to go on holiday. I'm about to fuck off to the US for 7 goddamn weeks.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Enjoy that.
That's gonna be crazy.
I'll be looking forward to the happy snaps.
I've been keeping track of some of the areas I'm going, and I think one of them, like this week, the temperature range was like the low was like -15 and the high was -4. So I'm gonna have to get me a good fucking winter coat when I get over there, I think.
Duck down, man.
Just go to Kathmandu.
Jacket.
I'm not going to Kathmandu and spending $250 on a fucking jacket. I'm gonna go when I get to Vegas. I'm gonna go to a fucking thrift store and find something over there. I'm not
nice.
And then I'm redonating it before I fly back over, because I'm never gonna use it again.
That's good.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be chilly. But then I'm also going to Florida, where the other week in Florida it was like, even though it's middle of winter, it was 30 fucking degrees. So yeah, fuck us. Anyway, yes, thank you very, very much, Todd, for jumping on this one. Kyle, what have you got coming up on your Beer Buddy streams, mate?
I have no bands coming up. We just had Jolie on Monday. I'm currently in contact with more bands, just trying to work out some dates. So just keep an eye out for that. And we're just going to have more. Other than that, yeah, just ready to... I'm actually thinking about getting tickets to that Smashing Pumpkins festival.
It's expensive.
I know. I saw it.
Have you seen the prices?
I have seen the prices. Yeah, but so is Knotfest. So if we're going to go like that, Knotfest $200.
And I guess, look, the Smashing Pumpkins thing, you get Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction plus 4 or 5 Aussie bands. You get there's a wrestling, and he's bringing National Wrestling Alliance with him, so there'll be a bunch of wrestling shows there too. It's the whole... It almost is like a mini festival in a way.
It's down the road from my house, so...
And it's a much more intimate venue than a stadium or something. So
it's
worth it. I suppose it's worth it to the right people. But all right. So next week on the podcast we have Monsters Up North. They are an awesome Brizzy band that's been coming up, making a lot of noise. So keen to talk to those boys. Once again, if you want to be in the running for that ticket to Gymna Rocks, follow the channel. Once we get to 100 followers, we will be randomly selecting a winner out of those to get that double pass. And one thing as well, I've mentioned I'm doing this US trip. I'm going to be away for a long time. The time distance is going to make it a bit difficult for me to be on the podcast here. So what we're teeing up for that, there will still be podcasts happening. We're going to try and do some pre-tapes. We're going to get a guest host in to co-host with Kyle. And we're going to organize a bunch of really cool guests to be on the pod while we are going through that period. And then I'll be back on once I get back. Other than that, thank you once again to Todd for jumping on here. Don't go anywhere, Todd. After we finish the podcast, we'll have a proper sign off with yourself. And Kyle, I believe you've got a video you're going to play.
Oh, that
for
one.
Us
oh, I didn't.
to wrap this up.
I didn't do that video.
I'm unprofessional, mate.
I'm doing that tomorrow.
No. Whatever video. We're gonna play a video to wrap it up.
Oh, that video, that one. I thought you meant the other video. Okay, tonight.
No, we're gonna play a video to wrap it up.
Yeah,
we're starting to wrap this up with a music video from our guests. So what have you got for us?
We have.
What video are we playing?
We are playing tonight.
We always say, try and be kind to each other. Let's just look out for one another because it's the only way we're going to get through this mess. Thank you so much. Enjoy the song, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Take it easy, everyone.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Riding on the what you need to dread and I repent. What you need to dread and I repent. Or what you want or what you need to dread. Punch up, panic, rise, we all manic. A desperate clash of profanities. Start to back to life. Love runs from bed to bed into a head of burial tide. Separation, imperial.